Hi, everyone. Thank you all for joining us today for the 98 Create um, project presentation for the Suicide Prevention Conference. This project was a collaboration with the Alaska Division of Public Health and Behavioral Health and the Youth Alliance for a Healthier Alaska, aka YAHA, Alaska Native Tribal Health Consortium, and the Department of Education. Today, the Youth Alliance for a Healthier Alaska will be leading and moderating a discussion for our Alaskan artists that we selected out of the 43 submissions received across the state, many of which you were able to see and peruse in a video that we put together by Michael Conti, our public informations team. The Youth Alliance for a Healthier Alaska is an adolescent advisory team ages 14 through 21 plus across Alaska, advising the team for the Division of Public Health. I will go ahead and pass it off to Lillian, our moderator, for questions.
Thanks, Maya. Hi, everyone. My name is Lillian Yang. I'm currently a senior at West Anchorage High School. I've been the YAHA member for the past 3 years, and as a YAHA member involved with the 988 Create poster contest, I was one of the several judges that selected our winners that we are showing you and sharing with you today. So from artist panelists, we have 5 of our winners here. We have Sana, we have Calissa, Madison, Amelia, and Star. And so we'll go in this order. And I'd love if we can have Sana, who submitted a watercolor, introduce herself as well as her submission and how it meets our theme of hope, safety, encouragement, and support.
Hi, my name is Sana. I'm 13 years old, and my artwork represents how hard it can be feeling depressed and how the world drowns everything out and you feel alone. But there is help, and there's a crisis lifeline 988 that can help you, and you just need to reach out and be able to let people help you.
Thank you so much. I'll go ahead and move to our second panelist. We have Calissa, and Calissa is from Anchorage, and she produced a mixed medium, not mixed, digital art named The Climb. And if you could please talk about your submission as well as how it met our theme, again, of hope, safety, encouragement, and support.
Yeah. Okay. So while making the artwork, I kept the theme of encouragement and support in mind, through the person lifting the other out of a place that seems like they can't escape from. And I intend for the artwork to show how even in places that seem hard or even impossible to get out, a helping hand is always available.
Thank you so much. And our next panelist is Madison. And Madison created a mixed medium.
My artwork was created keeping in mind reaching out for help or hope. It represents like you reach out for help, and there's even just like a small amount of hope that you can find that can help.
Thank you so much. We have Amelia, also from Anchorage, and she created a recording, a podcast called Mental Health PSA Talk. So if you could speak a little bit to that, that'd be wonderful.
Yeah, my submission actually started out as a project for school last year in 8th grade, where mental health issues and illnesses stem from, on whether they're nature or nurture, and why you or I might necessarily feel this way.
Thank you. Super important stuff. And lastly, we have our final panelist, Star, from Houston. She created a Mental Health Matters poster.
The bright colors of this piece are used to draw attention to the fact that mental health doesn't pick and choose, as shown on there. Definitely used to like bring attention to it and help show that support is there and it's just a text or call away.
So for this portion of our talk, we're going to have our panelists speak to some open-ended questions, and there's a set of 6 questions. And so for those panelists, just raise your hand if you're interested in answering. So the first question is, it takes a lot of courage to put yourself out there for a contest. I know from personal experience, it's definitely not easy and takes a lot of bravery. So we're interested in what inspired you to participate. Calissa.
So my mom inspired me to participate. I have my own mental health struggles, which makes it hard for me to find the motivation or because of my nerves to go out and do things. So, yeah, she helped me kind of get out there, and I'm glad that she did.
Thank you. Star?
So putting my art out there, especially with mental health stuff, is really important to me as I struggle with my own mental health. I just saw the contest around. I've been entering contests locally and statewide. I definitely want to have a career in art, so I feel like putting myself out there now would be really good for future reference, and especially having a personal experience with mental health made me feel like I could relate and understand the meanings of this contest.
Thank you. And Madison?
My teacher did inspire me to enter the competition. But it's also because mental health is something important to me and that I struggle with. So putting my art out there about that stuff kind of helps.
Thank you for sharing. So for the next question, how does art influence your mental health? I know we've talked a little bit about how mental health is important and how that's also inspired us to create this art. How does art influence your mental health? Star?
Personally, I love just when I'm feeling stressed out or just mad or like angry or just need something to get emotions out. I sit down with a piece of paper and I draw. It's just like a release, like you have that paper, a piece of paper, all your stuff, and then you put it all out there and it's like a physical form of everything I'm feeling. So I feel like it's a great outlet for all that, you know?
Absolutely. Amelia?
I feel like art sometimes, especially when you're creating art based on personal things like your mental health, can feel like a secret code between other artists and other people that are dealing with that issue. I really love when I can create a piece and um, it speaks to like my mental health struggles and other people, but not necessarily everyone can tell. So yeah.
Thank you. And Calissa?
Art influences my mental health by providing both an escape and an outlet for my emotions. Yeah, that's basically it.
Thank you. And lastly, Madison?
Art helps me get emotions that I can't talk about or ones that I don't want to talk about out. And for all I know, it could help somebody seeing it and seeing that they're not alone and feeling like that.
Thank you, Madison. We've talked a lot also within Yaha about how art is as a form universal. You don't have to speak a certain language to understand it, and how it's such a powerful medium. And so we really appreciate all our artists coming on and talking about how art has been important to your mental health. For our next question, in what ways beside art do you feel your own mental health and healing? We'll start with Madison.
It does sound kind of weird, but I usually clean because if I can't control what's going on in my life, I can control how tidy my room is.
Absolutely. Amelia?
A small step for myself with healing myself is I usually do a face mask with my best friend every week, and we just really talk about everything that happened that week and how things that we just want to go over that may have hurt us or helped us or things like that.
I love that. Starler?
Spending time with family is a big thing for me. It's definitely gives me a refresh of all the stressors at school or just things that may be affecting me that I don't feel like talking about. I feel like art is my main thing though. Sorry, but it is. Yeah, it's just also how my family just inspires me to do art a lot. So my family pretty much.
Thank you. And lastly, Sana.
Whenever I don't feel good, I'm kind of an athletic person. So I like going on runs, and that really like takes my mind off things and just being able to really focus on like my physical body and how I'm feeling and just pushing myself to go faster and like run longer instead of like worrying about all the other problems in my life.
Absolutely. And physical exercise has shown to be really beneficial also to your mental well-being. And so I love that. We love that you're doing that. So for the next sets of questions, we're going to expand our realm a little bit into the broader community. How has mental health and suicide prevention been shown in your community already? We can start with Star.
Recently I went to a play, kind of a community-based play here in Juneau, at the public library based on suicide prevention. It's a good play. It definitely put out there about talking about suicide and prevention and also had great resources after the play. The play was offered to multiple different age groups. So I think they kind of changed the play midway to have a better understanding with different age groups. So I think that was very fun and beneficial. Also gets the word out there in a fun, artistic way.
Thank you. Madison?
One way that I've seen it shown is in my class, my art class. It's something that we all talk about. And if we have a problem, we can talk about it. It's not something that we keep hidden away. It's something that we can openly talk about.
Thank you. And Amelia?
I can definitely relate to Madison with my art class being a big help with opening up the conversation around mental health. Another thing my school has done is that we've had like cats and dogs come in just to just help people wind down a little bit at lunch or after school.
Absolutely. This kind of segues into our next question. How would you like to see mental health and suicide prevention messaging improve, and how can Alaskans better support youth mental health? And we'll start with Star.
I definitely have to say that this contest was pretty like a good way to put it out there, especially as a statewide contest. And also this Zoom is really helpful because you're getting the youth voice out there and how they feel about Alaska mental health. I think Alaska does a pretty good job of it. I think some of the resources, at least in Juneau, where I'm staying currently, is helpful. I think that it could more support in like farther out areas instead of people having to travel so far to get mental health, especially for people who live out like farther away from local areas. I think that would be really beneficial for them. Yeah.
Thank you. Amelia?
I think simply opening up the conversation. And I think this contest was a great way to open up the conversation and have people create art that speaks to themselves, like specifically and personally, and other people can see that and know that they're not alone.
Thank you. Sana?
I feel like getting it to like even a younger audience because during COVID, I was like, I wasn't feeling like too great about like myself and just kind of had low mental health. And I didn't really like relate that to anything. I was just thought like it was normal and I didn't realize that like I was like struggling. So like really having kids understand like what mental health is and how it can affect how you feel.
Thank you. And Madison.
I agree with Sana in letting kids know what mental health is, because there was a point in time where I didn't know what was happening with me, so I thought it was normal, and it wasn't. So I think, yeah, letting little kids know, not little kids, but kids know what mental health is would be a good thing.
Thank you. And Calissa.
I feel like bringing more attention to just mental health struggles overall is an important way to, like, I don't know the word, because like social media is very like, it's a big thing today and it only shows like positives most of the time. So we need to like start embracing that like everyone has their own struggles, their own issues, and that'll help us all feel kind of connected and more like normalized with our emotions.
Thank you. So we'll move into the very last question of our panel today. Is there anything else you wish to tell anyone watching? We'll start with Madison.
I will say that even if it feels like there's nothing you can do or it's just unfixable and you can't feel better, even just like the smallest glimpse of hope can be helpful, and then you can hang on to that hope until you can find more, and eventually it does get better.
Thank you for sharing. Amelia?
Just that you're not alone, and even when you think you are and you think no one else feels the way you do or thinks the way you do, there is someone out there that does and can help you and guide you, and to just open up and tell someone, tell an adult or a friend or someone.
Thank you. And Star?
I definitely have to bounce off what everybody else is saying. I think that mental health should be number one. It affects everything completely, and that how dark everything feels, there's always light. So there's support.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to say anything? Amelia?
Sorry, I just want to say one more thing. We're talking a lot about the struggles within mental health. When you feel empowered in your mental health, take that and like use it and feel it's okay to feel good. I know that I personally, sometimes when I do feel good, I feel like I shouldn't, and I feel like I should be feeling weak and not empowered, but take that and use it and feel good. So
Thank you. Absolutely. Super, super important point. Seeing there's no more comments, I really want to thank our panelists again for coming and sharing about your experience with 988 as well as mental health in Alaska. And we really appreciate your time. And for this, I'll pass it back to Maya for our closing comments.
Thank you all for sharing, and thank you all to our participants for sharing your stories and insight into your artwork. Again, it's very brave to put yourself out there, and we appreciate you all for sharing that with us. With your help, we help to continue to raise awareness about the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline, as well as hoping to provide safety, hope, encouragement, and support to people across Alaska. As you may have heard from other 90-Day Create artists and submissions, we see that connection through supportive friends, families, communities, culture, school, and other supportive adults are really the keys for mental health in Alaskan youth. Thank you all for watching today, and youth voice are so important, and we appreciate you for being a supportive person in the lives of youth in Alaska. Thank you again.